Greetings, Ashen here with another comic book hunter. I have been having some difficulties getting my live streams going, so I'm going to do a good show for you today, hopefully. I actually put out a video last night, and unfortunately that video had audio issues, and I really hope they're not happening currently. I checked the audio, but God only knows what's going to happen outside of my control. Anyway, greetings, and if you've never been to my show before, I'm going to break it down for you. I am the comic book hunter, and what I do is I review comics from this past week, and I tell you what I thought about them. And then the center portion of my live stream, I usually do something miscellaneous. I'll talk about a film or a giveaway or whatever it happens to be that week. And then the final portion of my live stream, I will talk to you about upcoming comic books. So that way you have a full comic book spectrum to look forward to. All right. So, I appreciate anyone who stops by, and I appreciate anyone who watches this later. Let's go ahead and get started with the first issue for today. X-Force! Yes! I don't know how many of you have been reading the X-Force series, but it has been insane. Out of all the X books, this is the most enjoyable, the most hardcore, and the most, like, sort of classic feeling X-Men in my opinion. This is number 5 we're up to, and it has been quite a run. It really does not feel like 5 issues, but it's definitely excellent. And there, let me just go ahead and pop in and show you a little frame from inside the comic book real quick, so you kind of get an idea of why this series is so cool. There we go. There we go. Now, aside from just being drawn very well and being crazy like this, a Wolverine cut in half, stabbing somebody through the chest, it's brutal, it's awesome. I mean, look at that freaking expression on his face. Oh my goodness, he's like in berserk mode. This series just encapsulates everything so well, and I don't really want to spoil too much of it for you, but the X-Force has been initiated to stop subversive threats that are coming for the new nation that the mutants have formed on Krakoa. Oh, it's such a good series, and I highly recommend it. And if this picture right here, this craziness, doesn't do it for you, then I really don't know what will. Okay, so that was my first pick for the week and my first review. Next up we have Ghost Rider. Yes, we are up to Ghost Rider number 4 currently, and once again this series has been going great so far. Last issue they switched over to a brand new artist, and I felt like the issue didn't flow quite as well, but in this one I say the artist has really pulled it together and really streamlined since the last one. Definitely excellent. If you want to see some great Ghost Rider action, this is probably the best story since the 90s. A lot of forgettable stuff in the meantime, but this series is quite awesome. You got Johnny Blaze being the king of hell, and there's a war for his throne coming, and he tries to get the help from Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, But Danny Ketch sees just how crazy all this power is making poor Johnny, and he tries to stop him, but that doesn't work out too well. He has his power stripped from him by the new King of Hell, but how can he stop this coming war and intervene in any way whatsoever with it? Well, find out in this issue. It is crazy stuff, and I promise it will not let you down. A little bit of a, if you're a speculator, they introduce sort of a new character in here, or a new mantle. So definitely check this out. Looks like it's going to be really awesome. Who knows if this new appearance, this new formation will have any value, but it's just a great issue. So check it out if you want to just collect it, or for collector value, or if you want to just read a great story. Just check it out. Here we go. This is some of the art from inside of it, and as you can see, completely awesome seeing Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, being all crazed King of Hell. He does not disappoint. He makes kind of a great, I guess he's sort of functioning as a villain, and I kind of like him because he feels very justified in his actions, but at the same time, everyone who knew him before knows that something is, well, very clearly wrong. All right, so we will get up to the third pick from this past week. Ooh, Ruins of Ravencroft Carnage. What can I say about this? This is part of 3 one-shots that are coming out that are going to lead us into the Ravencroft series that's coming out. Ravencroft is being knocked down and rebuilt. It's sort of like a criminally insane asylum where people that are very dangerous are locked away. But it was a terrible place, and they're knocking it down, and they're going to rebuild it with modern technology. But in this story, Fisk is in charge of things, and they discover some hidden elements that have never been known before about the history of Ravencroft and how it ties into the modern world. An excellent story. The issue, I guess it roughly has Carnage in it, but not traditionally. So I don't know if I would have entitled it Carnage or not, but I guess it makes more sense than anything else. Here's some art from the inside of it. Story dives back into history, and we find out that somehow this is going to be tied in with Noel the Symbiote God, who was just recently reawakened, and that's going to fit into the Ravencroft story somehow. So we'll be seeing if the patients are running the madhouse when everything's complete. Next issue we have coming up, spoiler alert, don't want to ruin anything for you, but it is going to be Sabretooth, and that's interesting because last we saw Sabretooth, he was being kept inside of Krakoa, like under the earth in some kind of like containment thing. So I don't know how they're going to fit him in with the Ravencroft story, but I'm interested to see it. Okay. A few more issues to go. We have The Plot. The Plot is a really interesting sort of drama horror story. The horror elements are great. The drama, you can feel related to the characters. That kind of makes the stakes feel a little more high. I've been enjoying this series so far. I stopped reviewing the comics for a little bit because I don't know, it started feeling kind of typical, and it had some elements that bored me a little bit, but with this issue things really picked back up, piqued my interest again. So I just want to say we're only on issue number 4 of this, I think. Let's see. Yeah, number 4. It's a great series, probably not too hard to find. Check it out if you like horror and kind of like drama in a way. It's similar to, PG-13 horror, but there are some pretty brutal elements to it, and the haunting aspects are just absolutely beautiful in this story. And this issue, there's some pretty dark revelations about how this family's fate is tied to this estate and the secrets that it holds. So let me show you a little bit of the art. Here you can see quite figuratively, but also maybe even realistically, how this dark passenger looms over our character here. I'm trying to help you, she's saying to herself while holding a knife. Oh my goodness. Yes, so this leads to some pretty dark stuff that happens down the road, but as you can see, the art is great in this book. It's definitely worth reading if you want to see some haunting imagery. Okay, now let us get on to my final recommendation for the week. Now this one is actually from last week, but I didn't get it in until this week, so The Kill Lock. Yes, The Kill Lock is quite a good story, actually. It's like the Suicide Squad of interesting little robot dudes. The Kill Lock, it's basically these 4 robots that are all locked together. If one of them was to die, then all of them are to die. And the reason they lock all these life forces together is if anyone tried to escape, then it's easy for 1 or 2 people to remain hidden, but it's almost impossible for 4 people to remain hidden. So that's why they do this, and in an attempt to make sure anyone who's been charged with things stays locked away to their fate. But it's wow. Okay, here, let me show you a little bit of the imagery from this book. Just look at this. This is like a badass sort of Transformers, just smashing, and that's very violent, seeing all the pieces coming apart and everything like that. Oh, such a good story. And these 4 characters are quite interesting. Then they really help carry the story. There's a real maniacal one. Then you have this guy who's like an ex-soldier robot. Then you have the innocent one. Just so great. I like all the characters. There's kind of a like the Optimus Prime one, who you don't really know much about him yet, but he seems kind of rational. So I don't understand why he's actually in this group yet, but I'm sure we'll find out at some point. It's great, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with this with issue number 2. All right, so we've made it to the center portion of my live stream. Let me see. Oh, I have somebody watching. Well, hello. Thank you for watching live. Last time I attempted to do this live stream, I didn't have anyone watching. So welcome. I'm going to be talking about my giveaway now, my next comic book giveaway. So if you are here for that, then you will be rewarded with knowledge. The comic book I will be giving away is The Question: The Deaths of Vic Sage. All right. Well, I don't know if any of you have really bought this or looked into this book or not, but oh, jeez, 3 people watching. Well, welcome everyone. The Death of Vic Sage will be the comic that I'm giving away. I got a really good condition one, and when I pack it up, I'm going to be using this. This is like a comic. This is sort of a comic magazine from the UK called The Strip. So I'm going to be using that as sort of protection against any shipping bumps or anything like that. But if you are interested in winning The Death of Vic Sage #1, DC Black Label, excellent Lovecraftian style story featuring The Question, then go ahead and type "Enter Me" in the comment section below, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this up over on Twitter as well, but this will be the place. This will be the place to say "Enter Me," and then I will seek you out over on Twitter after that when I do the drawing in like probably a week or so. I'm going to do the drawing. So there you go. Okay, so we have gotten through our review from comics of last week. We've gotten my big announcement of the next comic book giveaway. Excellent title. And we are here to comics coming up next week. So what do we have coming up next week that I recommend? Well, to start off with, we have The Question: The Deaths of Vic Sage #2. Yes, if you did not get this thing sold like hotcakes at my comic book store. Sold like hotcakes, and I only managed to get the original cover. I didn't even get the variant, but I managed to get 2 so I could give one of them away. The Question: The Deaths of Vic Sage is an excellent series. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it. There's some elements of misplaced time, and maybe this character having lived in the past and him currently being a reincarnation. They hinted a lot of stuff, and I am just really excited to see what they do with this. And somebody else, if you have missed out on this series, make sure you enter, and you will find out too how excellent this series is. The next title I recommend for next week is Ruins of Ravencroft. As previously mentioned, Ruins of Ravencroft, 3 one-shot comics leading up to the Ravencroft series. This looks to be interesting. I want to see what they're going to be doing with Sabretooth. I don't know how they're going to fit him into this story arc, considering where he currently is. But they did such an excellent job with the last issue that I'm looking forward to this one. And if you like the macabre side of Marvel, then this is it done pretty properly. Finally, last but not least, we have Venom: The End. This cover is awesome. I really hope I can get it. I'm going to call my comic shop today and try to pick it up. I'm not very familiar with the writer of Venom: The End, so I'm hoping for the best. But it definitely looks interesting. I heard that Miles Morales had a version of this come out last week. I guess Spider-Man: The End, or Spider-Man Miles Morales: The End. And people said it was absolutely terrible. So I'm hoping for this, because the writer for that wasn't good, and I don't know who this writer is, but I'll always give him a chance. So if you're daring like I am, then go ahead and check out Venom: The End. Alright, well, that is all I have for this week on the Comic Book Hunter. I do appreciate you all hanging in there and coming and checking out my live stream. I will be posting more about this over on Twitter and trying to get people here. I just wanted to do a quick stream and kind of slip it in under the radar, since I'd already messed up on one stream. Anyway, I appreciate all of you who stopped by and who are watching this later. You all have a great day. Yes.